What's up? What's up?
Welcome to Let's Talk About It, where we give it to you raw and uncut. The podcast show where we speak what's on our mind. Now here's your host, Amina G.
A feud between two neighbors that has been going on for years in the state of Florida has finally come to a tragic end. Welcome to Let's Talk About It. I am Amina G. A 58-year-old white woman whose name is Susan Louise Lawrence uh, has been charged with manslaughter with a firearm, culpable negligence, uh, battery, culpable negligence, battery, and 2 counts of assault for fatally shooting to death 35-year-old Ajike Owens, AJ, a black mother of 4 in front of her 9-year-old son. This was a straight killing. The 58-year-old Florida woman shot AJ Owens through her door when AJ went to uh, speak to the woman about harassing her children. Witnesses say 58-year-old Susan Lorenz, who is white, was angry at Owens' children who were playing in a field close to her home. She could be heard yelling at the children by other neighbors. Susan was also seen throwing a roller skate at the children, hitting one of them in the toe. Uh, and if that wasn't bad enough, Susan started swinging uh, at the children with her umbrella. Now, I want to be clear. This will not be a stand the ground law case. And I also want to talk about the stand your ground law in Florida. Uh, Stand your ground law. This law was passed in 2005. The law allows those who feel a reasonable threat of death or bodily injury to meet force with force rather than retreat. Now, what Susan Lawrence did on June 2nd, shooting AJ Owens through a closed locked front door in front of her 9-year-old son, is a perfect reason why I say that the stand your ground law should be abolished. It should be abolished. AJ Owens was not a threat uh, to Susan. She had no weapons. She was not a threat. So since when do you kill someone for knocking on the door? I don't understand that. Uh, I don't understand. When do you kill somebody? Like I said, for knocking on the door. Uh, Susan was behind a closed locked door. This is similar to the Castle Doctrine law that asserts that a person does not need to retreat if their home is being attacked. Susan's home was not under any kind of attack. In fact, she was the one who was attacking and has been attacking every kid in the neighborhood for years. So why did she feel that she had to shoot this lady to death in front of her 9-year-old son is beyond me. Um, and I'm sure Susan was thinking she could shoot this black mother of 4 through that door and use that stand your ground law, but not this time because clearly this was a straight up murder. The sheriff said that this case was not a stand your ground law, but it was simply murder. Susan shot and killed this 35-year-old unarmed black woman, a mother of 4, on purpose and out of anger. Ben Crump, the family attorney who is representing the family, said that The activists who has seen this before will be demanding arrest immediately.
The activists who have seen this before are going to be demanding arrest immediately.
Ben Crump, attorney for the family, said, Crump, who was handling the case for the family along with the Owens mother and multiple neighbors, noted during the news conference the feud that the sheriff spoke of was between Lawrence and the neighborhood children, who often played in a lot outside her home. Neighbors said Lawrence frequently called the children bill names and antagonized them. Now I'm going to play a clip of a neighbor uh, who witnessed this type of behavior from Susan and the neighborhood children, including her own.
Field is a public field. We live in an apartment complex. Nobody owns anything. We all lease. And even the field is big, so, it's really big. Even when they play out there, they don't play on the side where her apartment is. They play on the other side to avoid all this confusion, but she comes out anyways. Anytime the kids are out there, she's coming outside. She antagonizes kids. She calls them names, slaves, racial slurs, all kinds of stuff, all of the children.
Did she say something to your children?
Yes, she says stuff to everybody's children. She's told my daughter that she was going to be raped if she didn't get off of her property.
Justice for AJ! Justice for AJ! And we hope that the state attorney will consider these witness statements from those neighbors who lived in that apartment complex, who had to deal with this woman who antagonized their children on a systematic basis, on a routine basis, for children playing. And I love what Pamela said in a previous interview. It was her bullying children.
Right.
I mean, she would bully these children. And the fact that she threw skates at children, so the state attorney has to look into, was there any racial components when she shot through the door and killed AJ? I think there was one time the children said not one time, I guess a few times, she told them, this ain't the Underground Railroad.
So Susan clearly was a bully of children in the neighborhood. She bullied the children. She had problems with the children in the neighborhood, especially the ones of color. She has also made comments, as you heard Ben Crump say, to the children that this was not the Underground Railroad. Well, Susan, no, it is not the Underground Railroad, and it is far from it. Now, the mother of AJ Owens said that AJ's son told her that he tried to give his mother CPR, but he was unable to save his mother. So he tried to give his mother CPR. He told his grandmother, but he was unable to save her. The children's grandmother said that the kids are also blaming themselves for their mother's death, and that is terrible. I'm going to play a clip, and we'll come back.
In his soul, in his heart, it's his fault because he went home and told his mother what this woman did to him. Our 12-year-old blames himself for the death of his mother. His words was, "Grandma, Grandma, I couldn't save her. I tried to give her CPR, but I couldn't. I tried to give her CPR."
He tried to give his mother CPR, but was unable to save her. And it's very sad. These kids are going to have to live with this for the rest of their life. Susan Lawrence has been arrested, but it took them 4 days to arrest her. And this caused some real concerns in the community. We're going to play a clip of her arraignment.
Good morning, ma'am. What is your name?
Susan Lorenz.
Ma'am, you've been charged with manslaughter with a firearm, culpable negligence, 2 counts of assault, and battery. Mr. Moody, argument about bond?
Your Honor, due to the severity of the charges and the surrounding facts and circumstances, the state would be asking the court to have the defendant remain on a no bond status.
Will you be filing a motion for pretrial detention?
We are looking into that, Your Honor. We'll be doing that.
I am grateful for an arrest. Very disappointed that it took 4 days, honestly. When is it okay in America to shoot someone behind a locked door?
When the sheriff was asked why it took so long for the arrest to be made, this is what he had to say.
My detectives cannot complete an investigation without getting all sides of a story. And that night, all we had was one person's story, and that was the shooter's story.
So he's saying that he had to get all sides of the story, and that's what took so long for them to make the arrest. Now, me personally, I never understood myself why it takes so long to make an arrest, especially when you're investigating a white person harming a black person or killing a black person or choking to death a black person. Why does it take so long? Black folks always have to protest for the right thing to be done. They can have the video, the police department can have the video clip right in their face, and still they don't act on it. This is a big problem, especially here in America. In fact, this just happened a couple of months back when a New York City writer by the name of Daniel Penny, who was white, a former Marine officer, and he choked to death 30-year-old Jordan Nelly, who was black, on a New York City subway. The white man was questioned and released the same day. And he wasn't brought up on charges until 11 days later. But it took protesting and pressure to the New York Police Department to do the right thing. And this is crazy.
You're listening to Let's Talk About It with your host, Amina G.
Now, Ben Crump, the family attorney, said if it were not for the activists in this case, it would have also been swept underneath the rug. He also says that he wants the district attorney's office to treat this case like it would be treated if it was the opposite way around.
We want him to zealously prosecute the killer of Ajike Owens just like he would do if the roles had been reversed and you had a black woman shoot a white woman through a locked metal door and kill her in front of her children.
AJ's mother had this to say about her daughter.
You may look at her and say, she didn't have much. She had it all.
Yes.
She had love.
Yes,
she had compassion.
You know,
you may look at her.
This is a really sad situation here. Our children can't even play in a park anymore without being harassed, shot at, murdered, choked, beating to death, or having racial slurs thrown at them. They can't even, they are even harassed harassing our babies, I should say, that are standing out in front of their own house selling lemonade, trying to make a couple of dollars. We're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. And that is a fact. Uh, Not 8 and 9 year old children having police called on them for selling lemonade because they're saying they don't have a permit to sell lemonade. This is terrible. Now, it is to my understanding that these kids on June 2nd were minding their own business, playing in a lot. And because of someone who obviously was disturbed by the color of their skin, decided to act on her own hatred for Black folks. And now 4 children are without a mother. And for what reason? Uh, what was also interesting to me about this case is that when the DA asked Susan, did she rent or own where she was living at the time of the murder, the shooting? Her attorney objected to Susan answering that question, and we can pretty much guess why she objected to it. But the judge quickly instructed her to answer the question. Uh, she was also asked how much money she could afford to put up for bail, and she stated $1,700. $1,700 she wants to be freed on, let out of jail on a $1,700 bail, while the Owens family prepared to bury their loved one, leaving 4 children without a mother. She wants to be let out on a $1,700 bail. Yeah, something is wrong with that picture. However, the judge set the bail at $154,000. 150,000 on count 1 because it was felony. On count 2, 3, and 4, all misdemeanor charges. Bail was set at $1,000 apiece, bringing the total bail to $154,000.
You're listening to Let's Talk About It with your host, Amina G.
Now, if she does post bail, and most likely she probably will, she must wear an ankle bracelet, surrender her passport, which she stated at the hearing she does not have a passport. She must stay in the Florida area. She can't leave Florida, and she is to have no contact with the Owen family, none whatsoever. She is able to return to the apartment that she is renting for the time being. So if she posts bail, those are the circumstances that she has to deal with. Uh, like I said, this is a tragedy. Um, there has been no updates to when Susan Lorenz is due back in court. So I don't have that information as of yet when she is due back in court. My people, be careful out there. Because as I said in my last show, this is a wicked world we are living in. Wicked times we're living in. The people are not the same. They're just not the same. White folks are showing us just who they really are. I mean, they've always shown us who they are, but they are really taking off their mask now and they're going full force with it. Protect yourself and your family and your children. We must stand together. We really must start sticking together with one another. If we have never stuck together before, now is the time to definitely start sticking with one another. It's been the time, but we really have to implement this. Protect yourself and your family and your children by any means necessary. On the Let's Talk About It podcast show, we give it to you raw. By any means necessary, because they are killing us left and right. They really are. This mother of 4 needs justice. She needs to have justice for this murder, for her children, for her family. She did not deserve to die like this. And especially in front of her children. This was a heartless, ruthless act. People are living in this worldly world. My people, please just be careful out here. Um, AJ Owens' funeral will be held on Monday, June 12th. In Florida, AJ's service will be eulogized by Reverend Al Sharpton. Also, at the end of the show, I have a screenshot up of AJ's GoFundMe page. Please, 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 if you can, make a donation for this young lady who has had her life snatched away from her for no apparent reason, leaving 4 babies behind for the grandmother to raise and to fend for themselves. So please make a donation. No amount is too small. Let's help this grandmother raise these children. You can also call into the Let's Talk About It podcast show on 1-347-349-7085, or just send us an email at let's talk about it ag@gmail.com with any concerns you may have. I also would like to take this time to thank Amadou Kane. He is a journalist from Senegal who is now working in the New York area and is a big friend to the Let's Talk About It podcast show, and does a lot of work behind the scenes to ensure that our show is running well. So thank you, Brother Amadou Kane. I'm giving you your flowers now, as they say, while you're still here, okay? You have been listening to the Let's Talk About It podcast show. Catch me every Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock p.m. Until the next time, take care and be safe. And it is never too late. Remember that, to get down, bow down on your knees, and pray to your Creator. Peace.
They shooting. They shooting. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. Check back every Sunday at 9.